A very warm welcome to the Wheels and Deals podcast. This week we had a grand day out to the Classic Motor Show at the NEC in Birmingham. So I took along my long-suffering cameraman and son James, and we met up with a few familiar faces. We chatted to Max and Matt from the Tyre Kickers podcast. We spoke to Simon from Lot 76 YouTube channel. We spoke to Fraser Pemberton, classic car dealer who's had his own episode on this podcast, about what it's like to be actually selling one of his cars in the auction. Richie Barnett, motoring journalist, had a look around some of the auction cars with me. Please listen to last week's episode for that one. And very excitingly, I got to meet the brown car guy at long last, one of my motoring journalist and YouTube heroes. Unfortunately, I managed to spectacularly cock that one up by not recording it properly. So he very kindly agreed to jump online and have a chat with me about the day. So I've managed to bump into Max and Matt from the Tyre Kickers. Hi gents, how are you doing?
Very good, thank you. Very excited to be surrounded by all this expensive metal, none of which I can afford, but I'm really enjoying the tyre kicking and looking at the stuff.
There's a lot to go at. It's a long time since I've seen a catalogue this big at an auction, to be honest with you. It's absolutely enormous. What's caught your eye?
Well, we were just looking at that Espada, Harry Metcalfe's Lamborghini Espada, because that's had so much promotion on YouTube. You know, how much is it really worth? Because it's had a full engine rebuild, documented on YouTube. I think it's probably going to go a bit overestimate.
I think it's going to do slightly north of 100, is my estimate. Do you know, though, when they were first launched, they cost more than a Miura?
Right, okay.
Fun fact. The Gentleman's GT, they were like a spaceship at the time.
I think they're fantastic. He doesn't like them.
Well, I think they're right close up. They look wow, and then the minute you come back, you go, oh dear, that's like two people have worked on that from either end, haven't they? You know.
I love those. We had my mum had a little whinge.
Marcello Gandini.
Toyota Carina. It is time warp condition, and I get really excited about seeing those because we won't see many of those in our lifetime.
It is time warp, but would you drive it and buy it?
No, but if I was building a collection, I think that's quite an important car because it represents a point in time where if you weren't a Vauxhall or a Ford in the UK, nobody really wanted you.
True.
And whilst they didn't cope particularly well with our British salty roads, so did tend to disintegrate in front of your eyes.
Did, didn't they? I mean, they weren't alone in that.
Yeah, I think it's about 22,000 miles. It's incredibly low mileage, single family ownership. Good luck finding another. And I think if you were trying to build a collection of not necessarily significant cars in terms of world beaters, but cars that you won't find another one of, I think that's one to look for.
Now, you can adjudicate on this argument. We were just looking at a C2 Corvette, a 61 C2 Chevy Corvette. It's right-hand drive. Now, do you think that increases the value or decreases it?
Decreases it,
right.
100%.
Well, it makes it more usable, doesn't it?
Not to the people that would want to buy it. The people that would want to buy that would be someone like me who makes no difference where the steering wheel is. I'm equally comfortable in either. But no, I think that to me is a questionable car because it's the right hand drive.
Okay.
But being a dealer, it's obviously a bit of it's a business and it's a sport as well. It's about hunting cars,
of course
isn't it?
It is.
Do you ever walk around these things and go, why didn't I find that car? You know why? Because you want, as you say, you don't want to pick them from these high profile things. You want them to get them before they even see the light of day.
I think the beauty of any of the big auction houses is that people will always contact them with cars that are fresh to market. Yeah. It is a very easy, risk-free way to sell a car. So for a lot of people, especially with a high-ticket item, they don't want people coming to the house or the garage or their unit. This is a really almost discreet way to sell a car, and I think for that reason, auction houses do a really good job for a lot of private sellers.
But I think the problem with this one is basically you've got too many people here, isn't it? So it could drive the prices up because it's such a popular show that this is actually really well attended.
And that's why you'd phone them to put your car in.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know that there's certain cars where if I had them, then the NEC sale is the right place for
and lots of people around this year, so hopefully it'll do good business for them, won't it?
Yeah, and don't forget they do a lot of business after the auction. I was the provisional bidder, what does it need to be? Or I noticed it didn't sell, what does it need to be? Or the vendor will be back on, I'll take the top offer. And what you don't realise at an auction is throughout and after the auction, that's when the dealing's going on. And although the technical title I think is consigners, they're all dealers, they're all doing deals all the way through it and afterwards as well.
You don't see that, do you?
They work really, really hard to get all these cars sold at every auction house.
So anything else you fancy? Anything else that's taken you?
There's a couple of things. There's a Renault 5 Gordini that was just winking at me for some reason, I don't know why. And there's a 928 manual.
You've got one of those?
I haven't got a manual.
Okay. You don't want another 928?
Greedy, greedy, do you think? No, I like that Mulliner Park Ward. The choice of 911s, pick your year, pick your spec, pick your engine, all that kind of thing. But this is a bit of an odd choice. There's a couple of Hilux pickups that have caught my eye.
I like a Hilux.
Love one.
He hates it.
See, we'd be a really boring podcast. We'd just agree with each other. There'd be no fun listening to us, would there? So there's two. There's one that looks to me to be largely in its original paint.
Okay.
It's clearly been used.
Right.
It is as a Hilux should be.
Right.
Then there's another one that is you could eat off it, which is not for me.
No.
Beautiful as it is, I would buy that and have to tuck it away in a collection.
Commercials have got to have a life, haven't they, to make them interesting? Otherwise, it's just not as interesting.
I think so, and I think especially at that kind of price point, I want to be not frightened of driving them. And I think if you've got a Hilux that you can eat off, you're in a little bit of no man's land with it, because it would end up being, for me, tucked away in one of the bubbles, waiting for
fun.
the prices
We
to
found
up.
a Metro van earlier, didn't we? I was
Very
really excited.
Where
about
did you
that.
find that?
It's just over there. It's on a kind of display, and I haven't seen a Metro van forever. It was the 1 litre L, so it had the recessed headlights, and the interior just had nothing. I mean, it's got
Nice
steering wheel.
bit of card nerdery there for us. Thank you.
It's worrying how excited he got about it.
I was like, a Metro van!
I've seen one for ages.
No, I mean, I think the wonderful thing that we've had, not the car shows with the deck chairs with the do not touch signs, but the wonderful thing about this show is you get to see so many cars in the metal that you don't get to see
Yeah, we saw
else.
a beautiful Alpha Sud, like a 1976 Alpha Sud, one of the first edition of them. Absolutely pristine. When do you see another one of those?
Lotus-
Most have rusted, haven't they?
A Lotus, a Essex Lotus.
Yes, yeah, we walked past
New
that
one
as
there.
well.
Have you seen it?
Terrible build quality.
Yeah, Marina door handles.
Stop it.
Maxi gearbox.
Yeah, but when you're in them, you don't care. No! Well, no, the earlier ones, yes. But the later
Yeah.
ones, the GT3s, amazing cars.
Okay.
Completely
Yeah, I mean,
sorted.
I just looked inside that Lotus, and I really love them, but the interiors are falling
British
apart.
Leyland
aren't they?
Parts Bin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, cheap.
They were.
Sorry,
but,
Lotus owners. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that.
but you'd have to have very deep pockets to buy one now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
they
they-
look great, don't they?
And again, it's the rarity, it's the collectability. You know, a lot of people buy these cars because they're building a collection,
Yes.
and rarity is almost always the key driver for
You've got a friend you've got a friend with one in John Player Special colours, which is fantastic.
See, I'm of that age where JPS or Gulf colours are all that matters.
Yeah.
I could paint everything in
I
that.
do quite like martini colours on a Porsche
Oh,
as
of
well.
course, yeah.
Martini's always going to be cool, isn't it?
Yeah, okay, I'm going to put 3 on the list then. Martini. So, booze, fags and petrol. That's it, isn't
exactly
it, really?
that.
That'll do. Well, it's fabulous to see you. So,
Nice
quick
to
question
see
for you
you.
both. If
Yes.
you can take one home, what are you taking?
Oh, I've got to take him home.
In the Metro van?
His carer needs him back.
Oh, the
Where's the
Metro
nurse?
van, that would be great. Oh, God, I tell you what, that's hell of a
That's a really difficult one. I'd probably take that green Alpha Sud that I saw. I just think it's really cool. I haven't
Oh,
seen
you mean
one.
from the sale or from the show?
Oh, the show.
From the whole show.
Oh, the whole
Oh,
show,
right,
yeah,
okay.
the Alpha Sud for me.
Well, there's too many. It's too many questions to be put on the spot like that. How long have you got? Do you know there's a flat floor E-Type over there I've taken a liking to. The Old English white and red interior. I'd probably take that. Is that a bit boring?
No, it's perfect. I think we've had this conversation before. If you've ever fancied an E-Type, now's the time to buy one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
To my mind, can't see them going down anymore,
No.
and I can't see them coming down this low again.
No.
I think now is a
Yeah.
great time to buy an E-Type.
That's the one over there, so don't go and buy it.
No, okay, I'll resist. I'll try and resist the urge. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon.
Pleasure seeing you.
Bye.
I then got the chance to speak to Simon from Lot 76 YouTube channel, along with Richie Barnett, the motoring journalist as well.
I like the way you've got a cameraman. I mean, I don't have that.
I mean, he looks so
unfortunately.
pleased to be here, doesn't he?
Yeah,
So the marvellous thing is he's really enjoying it. Lovely to see you today.
Yes, thank you.
Lot 76 cars
Indeed.
of YouTube fame. How are you doing?
I'm all right, thank you. Some
Good.
great cars here, actually. A really good selection of cars. A proper decent sale with such a great mix of cars here.
And price points and genres and ages
yeah,
and
absolutely.
everything.
We've got stuff ranging all the way through from my interest to Sierras, right the way through to Rowan Atkinson's Jag, which is had bits cut out of it. And Harry Metcalfe's XJC, which did very well, didn't it? 140,000.
Oh, I lost the bet on that one then. I didn't
Yeah,
do
and his
it.
Espada did 110, I think.
The Espada for this money, I think.
They were
hasn't it?
beautiful. They were both beautiful cars,
Well-
but the modified XJC, I thought that worried me a bit because it was modified, manual swapped, non-original paint.
Do you know what? I had 40 to 50 on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I just thought that would die in its arse. I
think-
don't see the audience for it with all the mods, to be honest with you. But there you go. We're all wrong sometimes, aren't we?
Indeed.
Well,
What I like to do is when I'm wrong, be spectacularly wrong.
yeah, exactly. If you're going to be wrong, go
I love
out
it
in a
too.
blaze of glory.
So what's the star of the show for you? What would you take home?
I don't know. I like the Rowan Atkinson Jag because of what it is. I did like the Peugeot 205, but not at the money that sold for. That was just...
That's the no reserve car.
It was 10 grand plus, I think, in the end. I don't know really. I mean, I must admit I like the quirky stuff, but the one that really is interesting for me, and try and get a shot of it if you can, is the Defender camper in the corner. That is so well done.
It looks a bit airstreamy at the back, yeah.
It looks like, somebody said to me, it's like you chop the back off an ice cream van and put it on, which is a bit unfair, but I think they've done it quite well. And it's a TD5, it's the right engine, the Storm engine as well.
I saw that in the catalogue and I thought it was minging, and then I saw it in the metal and fell in love with it. It's one of those things where you, on paper it shouldn't work, but when you actually walk around it,
it does.
It looks fantastic.
And it looks like it's been done really well.
Very well thought out.
I think so.
Yeah, and like you say, right engine, right gearbox. It's everything you'd want to do.
Absolutely.
And what about this?
We were standing in front of a 1961 VW camper, double door deluxe, with plenty of windows. This one was actually being auctioned with all proceeds and fees to charity, and it did a little over £92,000.
Well, the only thing with this one, I do like it, but it's a pity they couldn't have changed the rubbers on the wipers. I would have at least made that effort. I was bringing my car into a sale. They're like falling off. And I thought, attention to detail.
The devil's in the detail.
The devil is in the detail. When you stand in the car, you think, well, if they've skimped on the wiper blades, what else have they cut corners on? The other thing I'd mentioned, there's a couple of I think there's 2 Uno turbos in
We've
there.
already had a good crawl over that.
What's the chance of finding, one's significantly better than the other, I think, but what's the chance of that?
Well, that's what we said. Well, there was
Uno Duro.
Exactly.
we had a look at the Uno. I love the Renault 5, the Gordini Renault 5.
And what do you think about having 2 RS 1800 in the same sale? I mean, the last one went for 270. That pollutes it a bit, doesn't it?
I think it's messy. I would have driven them in personally. I think to find 2 buyers for that car at that level
price point,
on one day is a big ask.
Yeah, I think so.
Very big ask, to be honest.
And the 77 Mark II RS 1800 sold for $261,000. The slightly earlier car, 1975, didn't sell but is still open to offers.
This is interesting what these are doing now. We're looking on the screen at a Mercury, a 190 SL. Now, haven't these prices dropped off?
Yes. I don't know if people get them anymore, which
They're
is
not.
sad.
Do you know what? They're not everybody's cup of tea to drive. Have you driven one?
I haven't, but I've heard enough.
It's a pound shop Gullwing, isn't it? Supposedly.
It-
Sorry if you own one of those,
We'll
by
get
the
to-
way.
I think you mean Boulevardia.
Stoned to death on exit for saying that, but I think the reality is there are other cars that are considerably nicer to drive.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I think that's the issue. It's one of these things we've had this conversation about. I have a real issue with cars where I'd rather be outside looking at them than inside driving them. Stuff like a Carmen Ghia, achingly beautiful. I don't particularly enjoy driving them, if I'm honest. And I think that unfortunately the SLs fall into that category for me.
Agreed.
And the Merc 190 didn't sell on the day, offered for a little under £60,000, just showing how the prices have softened off for these.
And what about the Pink Floyd Golf?
And Nick Mason of Pink Floyd was auctioning his actual Pink Floyd Special Edition Golf, but it included all sorts of extra provenance and paraphernalia.
What do you think about that?
Love it.
It is a restoration. It's the provenance with that car. It's all about the provenance, isn't
It's a
it?
special car. I think if it was in boxes, it would still be an interesting proposition because of what you've always got, that one and only car, whatever state it's in, and you can go on with it.
Yes.
I think that's the thing. There will always be an audience for it. And there's always this ongoing argument about whether or not celebrity ownership affects the value of a car, and I still believe it does. I think it makes them easier to sell. I think there's always going to be a wider audience than just for the car. I think that's the thing.
It depends as well, though, who owns it, doesn't it? Because, funnily enough, if that car had been owned by, say, if we scroll back a few years, it was owned by Anthony Newley or Lionel Bart, people are going to go,
Nobody's heard of him.
But yeah, I
I'd
paid good money.
love Bernard Manning's Lincoln Continental,
so
but I am in the
queue-
minority.
So get in the queue behind me, because definitely you, me and someone else I think we know will be up for that as well. So there we
The only thing
are.
I would say, I was watching out for Paul. I was using up all my Jan knowledge, but I quite fancied that Merc W114.
The Paul Weller car.
Yeah, that did good money. I mean, he had it for quite a long time.
Yes.
It was his family car.
Yeah,
wasn't
it was a proper family daily car, and then he gave it to the nanny or something like that as a backstory. But that did well, didn't it?
I think Paul Weller is contemporary and cool and still
Exactly.
alive. So I
Yes.
think
Yes.
that's where you have to consider the value of things depending on who the owner was, how popular they were in period, and how well that's translated to today.
I mean, you can get some signed memorabilia, but going home with a Merc is on an altogether different
Yeah.
level, isn't
That
it?
is
Really? Yeah.
And I mean,
That
you've
takes
got
the biscuit.
the Jam, the Style Council.
Oh.
Yeah.
Solo
on his own.
career?
Yeah. Exactly, it's brilliant. It's a real good longevity.
But being the age I am, there was a summer when about everyone got married every other weekend in my friendship group, and every fucking Saturday was "You Do Something to Me" again for the first song, and it got to the point where we just used to play Paul Weller Bingo at every wedding because it was like if that fucking song comes on, you can have a shot. But it was absolutely lovely to meet you.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you ever
You
want
too.
to come up and do any test drives or reviews for any of
Super.
my old stuff, you're
Super.
very
Thank you very
welcome.
much. Appreciate the offer.
Yeah,
Thank
we've
you.
always got some American Yank tags hanging around the place.
Thank you very much.
Lovely to meet you.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
So I've managed to bump into Mr. Fraser Pemberton at the NEC Classic Motor Show. How are you doing, Fraz?
I'm all right, Sam.
Yeah?
Apart from, yeah. Do you know what? I definitely should have rented that mobility scooter.
How are your knees? And your feet and your ankles?
No, not good. Honestly, it's
Me
terrible.
neither. I'm struggling.
I'm too old for all this shit.
Can you get a slight whiff of deep heat coming off me because I've had to do a little bit of application?
Ah, that's what it is. I was going to mention.
So I know you've got one going through today. We're not going to talk about what it is, are we? Or are we?
Yeah, I've got my red Porsche going through. Am I nervous? I've not. Do you know what? I've been actually binning everybody that's been phoning me to try and wish me luck or ask how it's going, because I've put it completely out of my mind,
Yeah.
and I don't really want to discuss it.
Well, you have to, don't you? That's why I said, do you want to talk about it?
So we're coming up shortly. I think it's been a slightly mixed sale so far. Is my feel on it. Some of the other 911s have done okay. Some haven't.
Are you getting a feel for whether the top end stuff's doing well, the mid, the bottom range? Is there a pattern to it, do you think?
Do you know, that's a bit of a difficult one because, I mean, I saw some things here that I thought were value, and they kind of did the money they should have done. But where were we with that? There was some Porsche over there, and it was, I think someone had spent £213,000.
The RS tribute.
Some Rent Sport tribute. No, they made a point of saying it wasn't a Rent Sport tribute. I think it got bid to 90 grand. I mean, nobody was going to give 200,000 quid for a tribute, were they?
No.
But people do, for some reason.
Well, they might have done a few years ago, but not today.
I thought the real good value one, and had I been in a position...
Because my knees are so sore, I'm just going to have to reposition
Well,
myself.
there you
a
go.
minute.
Why don't you take the pew there?
No, I'm all right.
Honestly, it's good. It's all right.
Found me a little chair.
Well, yeah. Yeah, we can winch you up, Sam. Look.
That'll do.
There's a lovely little white 911. I think that
Cab.
yeah, I think that's such an honest car, and I thought it was value. Cabs historically, obviously, they never really do the money that the Togs and the Coupes do, but that particular one, I just thought it's what a lovely, unmolested car.
Have you seen the Mulliner Park Ward?
Where's that?
Over there. Burgundy, really nice. 18 to 24 it's priced at.
Oh, yeah, is it in Wildberry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not Wildberry, it's flat. It's not got the twinkle of a Wildberry, but it's like a flat Wildberry.
I have had a bit of a wander around. I quite like
That looked value to me.
I quite like the, funnily enough, on the Footman James stand, and I think Footman James do your motor trade, do they?
They do indeed.
As they do with
Big
mine.
shout out to our traders policy provider,
Yeah.
Footman James.
Footman James, sponsor me for free. I'll get a tattoo or anything. And have you been down to their stand?
Yeah.
Have you seen the Rec Corniche on it? I thought that was brilliant. Where else have I been down to? I've been down to TIPAC, the Independent Porsche Enthusiast Club, because I know a few of the guys down there. Had a look around that lovely Super Sport with the fabulous registration A1OUT, which I read as A Lout.
Yes.
And I thought that was fab.
A1 out.
Had a look at the Porsche Club stand. The one I was immediately drawn to was the Mocha Brown 928S. Similar vintage to the one you've got, but just so period in colours. Mocha Brown, brown check pasture in it. Ace looking thing. And I like the 924 Carrera GT in black. I
Sorry.
think this is a black car. They only made 75 right-hand drive ones. Always wanted one. I remember when they were 10 or 12 grand. Well,
Not anymore.
now I think they're at 60, 70, 80.
No. Well, I looked. There's a 944 and 2.7. Only made them for 1 year, and there's a black 928 manual as well.
I mean, we're also looking as a bit of an anomaly. Anomaly. How do we say it?
Anomaly.
I believe that was a Brunei car.
Anomaly.
Brunei car. That's a 993. turbo cab.
What's
I
the
think they made
colour?
5 of them.
We're looking at. I'm trying to explain the colour. It's purple. It's not like any Porsche purple I've seen before.
I'd say it's deep purple.
It's deep purple. Special. Do you think it's a special Brunei spec
Yeah,
bespoke colour?
yeah.
I'll put a picture of it on Instagram. It's
Not
really
like
unusual. If anybody knows what the colour is, please do let us know.
Purple haze.
So, Fraser, last question. You can take one home from the show. What are you taking back?
Hopefully not my fucking car.
Hopefully not the one you brought. What would you take home?
What would I take home?
A bag of cash for the one you brought, and what else?
I'd love to take home the Gemini Blue 1973 911S that just sold for 160 grand. But unfortunately, I'm 155, 427 pounds short.
Well, look, your car is up in about 8 lots, so you might have been able to chuck another few quid
I
at it.
suppose everyone can hear my ring piece going.
On that cheery note, I'm going to step to the side.
I take it you're leaving that in.
Yeah. Right, good luck for our see you in a bit.
Thanks, Sam. Toodles.
And I managed to organise a video call with the brown car guy to make up for me completely cocking up the chat we had at the show.
I don't know how
You're
to
very
describe
kind,
you.
thank you.
Journalist, author, presenter, editor,
All of those things, really.
international classic car advocate. Obviously, big fan of you. A huge pleasure to meet you at the NEC. Our mutual friend Peter Cavallo of Classic American Sales introduced us. I made a spectacular cock up and didn't record our wonderful chat, so thank you very much for take 2. We'll try again.
No issues.
So the one thing I noticed about the NEC, and I'd love your take on this, is that whilst the market has softened off this year for all of us across the board, it would appear that the enthusiasm has not softened off, judging by the turnout and the enthusiasm for the cars at the show. Did you feel it was any different this year, or did you feel it was just as buoyant as it always has been?
Well, it's. I would say yes. It's a little bit tricky to be sure because it's kind of subjective. I tend to normally go on a Friday or sometimes on a Saturday. Of course, we were there on a Saturday when we met. And I have to say, it was rammed. On a Saturday, it was absolutely packed. There was one point, actually, I was doing my circuit of all the halls, and I got to the iconic auctions bit. And I wanted to go in there and have a look around and do a little, piece to camera and stuff like that. But I couldn't get in. In fact, I couldn't even walk past it. It was that busy. It was literally like you had to fight your way through and I literally had to give up. And I came back around later on in the afternoon. I had another go. But I think that is the busiest I've ever seen it. And it's hard to put it into context for people that actually haven't been to this show. Because when you say it's busy, you've got to realize that this is the biggest classic car show in the UK. The halls are massive. We're talking a lot of space here. We're talking a lot of floor space here. And yet, sometimes it was hard to make your way through the crowds. And that, I think, is quite extraordinary. So it's heartening. It's wonderful because it's fantastic to see that people, and at the end of the day, we're privileged. I mean, we get passes and, we go to these events and we don't even know how much the ticket price is sometimes, and I go to events and I'm quite shocked when people tell me how much they've actually paid for a ticket. But to know that people were, getting out of bed in the morning, going to the NEC, paying for parking, paying for the ticket, paying for food, and then walking around enjoying the show, it was great to see the sort of thriving, vibrant enthusiasm of people at that event.
You obviously got to speak to a lot of people on the day as well. What did you feel? What do you think the general feeling was about the industry at the moment? Do you feel like we're optimistic again? Do you feel like people are worried? How do you feel the sort of general vibe was?
The vibe is a very interesting question. I think where the passion and the enthusiasm remains, I would hesitate to use the word optimist or optimism because I think that, and that doesn't relate to the classic car scene or the classic car world. I think that just relates to the world in general right now. When we met there at the NEC and you mentioned the Toyota Corona.
Oh, the Carina.
The Carina, yeah, the Toyota Carina, the yellow one. Yeah. And so I went to look at it and it was fantastic. I was really like, wow, who the hell has looked after this thing, That
was probably one of the rarest cars there for me.
And this is the thing, what you've got to realize, that anything can be a classic. Oh, people always say, well, that's not a classic, that's a classic. I say, look, is it important to you? And to many people, it's like, yeah, then it's a classic. Do you think that shows like the NEC, they sort of numb the response to some cars? So for example, if I saw a Countach driving down Kingsbury High Street, I'd lose it. I'd be like, oh my God, Countach, But I remember at the NEC, I was just chatting on the Lamborghini club stand and just barely even noticing that there were 4 Countaches parked there. One was a Periscope as well. And only afterwards going, oh yeah, I should film these. It was literally like, oh, by the way, I should film these. But do you think that that's one of the problems with shows like that, is that there's just too much and it just kind of numbs you a little bit?
Yeah, I think the wonderful thing about shows like that is that you get to see a lot of cars in the metal that you wouldn't normally get to see, and you see a lot of your poster cars and all that sort of stuff. But I look back to what I filmed on the day, and I went nuts over that Carina. Yeah. And there was a Mulliner Park Ward Shadow. You don't see many of that. The 928, tatty 928 for 10 grand because it had a manual gearbox.
Charade GTTI. That was something. I thought, whoa, Charade GTTI.
There were 2 Fiat Uno turbos that I got very excited about. A couple of low mileage Hiluxes, which I got very excited about.
Very cool.
But yeah, but there was some of the nicest 911s I've seen for a long time. But I didn't get around to filming them, and I do feel slightly guilty because I think I probably should have spent more time looking at those. But I won't see a Toyota Carina with that mileage on again in my lifetime, if I'm honest. Or I don't think I will anyway. But yeah, I think maybe you get there and you walk around and you have the initial. And then by 6 hours later, I think you're right. I think you're desensitized to it a little bit. I've had such a good time talking to you. Thank you. I only meant to take up 10 minutes, but thank you. I had a fabulous day at the NEC, and it was wonderful to catch up with some old faces and some new. And I'll be back next week with the full episode talking to the brown car guy about cars, the motor trade and motoring, past and present. So please join me again.